Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at the Ancient Magus Bride episode 3. My heart, oh god. I'm being honest with you guys and girls. I think the Ancient Magus Bride might be one of my favorite shows of the season. If not, at least a contender for the favorite. We'll see what happens when March comes in line because both of those shows are really up there in my book for the season. But, where to start with this? The whole fact of the dragon concept of the show, where we learn how dragons existed and are kind of now put into a separate area because the worlds can't really know about them anymore. And that seems like a story we've seen before. They've talked about that being a thing where dragons might still exist, but they're not visible to human eye, or they're put somewhere so far away that humans can never reach them. That wouldn't be so. That would be crazy, right? But in its own right, it's not impossible if you think about it. There could be plenty of creatures that we have yet to discover on planet Earth. I mean, we still discover fish every day that are further under the sea that we've never seen before. And, we still see various plant life and stuff being discovered every day, too. So it's not that crazy. But what was beautiful about this was the whole interaction between Chisei and our dragon that was dying. So we learned that the dragon, when they do die, they become part of the Earth again, or they return to the Earth. And in the case of his race, I think they're called Ulis, they actually are turned into trees. They go and settle in the ground and either become trees or become like some foliage of some sort. And Chisei felt horrible. It's not that she grieved per se for his death, because obviously she doesn't know him enough to do that. But the thing was that she grieved for the concept of seeing his life end in such a peaceful manner. And, that's even as she says at the end of the episode that she was kind of jealous that he died in such a peaceful manner. As we've discovered, Chisei, not even just in the flashbacks of this week's episode, but if you watch the OVAs, Chisei's had a very hard life. It's caused her to go into a sense of, I want to say, almost suicidal tendencies at times, but even more so, the various things that have happened have left traumatic scars on her, which are definitely a relevancy for the show, because, with the OVA, we're seeing the kind of Chisei that's out of that already, or at least far detached from her emotional burdens, I should say. But in the show, we're going back to seeing it from the beginning and seeing how her rise to overcome that is a thing. But the dragon, as he said, you should never be jealous of the dead. You should be jealous of the living because of the fact that they can keep going. But he tells Chisei he's had a long, long life, even for dragon standards, and his death would be something that he'll turn into a beautiful tree, hopefully. And because of the guy we meet today, who I forgot his name off the top of my head, the guy called him Echoes at one point, but he also called him something else. And I do apologize for that. It was like Linden, I think, or something like that. But he planted a seed in him before he died, so this way it would come with giant white blooming flowers that would make this beautiful tree that would be so spectacular for him. And during that whole scene when he shared with her his past and was able to fly in the sky with her, not in a physical sense but in a metaphorical sense via powers shared between them, it was so nice. It was something that it was liberating in its own right. It was, and he goes, listen, the children will have their generations, and he might be the last of his type of generation, but they will move on and they will live lives. And it's very true. That's very accurate to real life, that generations after, have their own lives to live. They have their own things to live. It's just how life works. So you feel bad for him, but at the same time, if he's led such a long life, his death is not, he's done things in his life. He's made progress. He's made accomplishments, etc. So it was really touching scene, and really, I'll be honest, I'm still kind of close to crying. Like, I want to cry during that sequence because I think it was so emotionally impactful. But at the same time, like, I'm holding it back a little bit. What I really loved too was the fact that the whole, even the children dinosaurs we saw, or not dinosaurs, excuse me, dragons. They look like dinosaurs though. No offense to them, but they look like little dinosaurs. They reminded me of The Land Before Time. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that before, but that's an old movie series that existed during my time period when I was a kid. Which, yes, you might be like, oh, you're not that old. I know I'm not that old, but still, I'm 27, so it's like back in 1990s, that was when that show came out in the first place. But The Land Before Time, it had like this similar feel to it, where these dragons were just happy and running around and just having a great time. It was so nice. But honestly, this was such a great episode. Like, the amount of impact, and the fact that when he actually finally died, he thanked her and said, hey, listen, when I become a tree, take one of a piece of my bark, or not bark, take one of my branches and use that as a wand, because every mage needs a wand, and I want you to have one of mine, my pieces of my tree. I was like, oh, dude, that whole sequence was like, I'm serious. Like, I am so close to crying. I want to cry. I really do. But I'm going to hold it in. I'm going to keep myself contained a little bit here. You know, I don't know what else to say about this episode, but fantastic, really. Just, whew, my God. I'm not surprised. I really am not. This show is just going to blow me away, and I have a feeling it's definitely going to go up in my, like, if this show continues to do stuff like this might be one of my top 10 shows of all time. And it's very rare for stuff to go on there unless it impacts me enough that it just hits me in the feels and emotions and does something. So definitely very curious how this show is going to continue on. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Leave in the comments what do you think about this week's episode. And you know what? I also want to throw in another question. What was your favorite little dragon? For me, that little slow moving one was so cute. Like, I wanted to hug that thing. He was trying to run and he was trying to keep up with them and he couldn't. Tell me what's your favorite dragon out of the three little ones, and also just in general what you thought of this week's episode. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm done with my reviews today. No more. I'm good. Have a great day, everyone. God bless you all. Bye bye.